Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And I want to welcome the panel that is joining me. These lovely ladies have taken the time in their day to sit down and open up to discussion on the topic that I'm bringing to you. So I have Susan Jarboe, Kistine Pass, and Reverend Linda. And welcome, ladies. And before we get started, I want to let's get centered and focus with some prayer time. So take a moment to, if it helps, to close your eyes, to close the world and chaos around you. Just do that. And let's breathe some slow, deep breaths to help you relax your body, relieve the tension, and just help you to be focused in this present moment. This is time for you to feed your soul and to open your minds and hearts to the wisdom and guidance of the Spirit above. And with this, we say, Father, Mother, God, we thank you today for being with us here, to bringing the thoughts and the ideas and the wisdom and the knowledge that is available for everyone. We hope to reach each and every one and find a spot for them that finds some enlightenment and feels that the love of ever-present God is with them. And we thank you for that love and universal wisdom and guidance that we have. Amen. So today, my topic is taken from the Unity Booklet, Release and Reimagine. So the topic is seeing things differently. And this was written by Reverend Elizabeth Longo. And she is the senior minister of the Unity of Sarasota in Florida. And this is her thoughts about seeing things differently. One of the greatest spiritual gifts we've been given is the ability to shift our perspective. Even when life doesn't unfold as we hoped, prayed, or planned, we are not powerless. We can choose to see differently. We can reframe our experience by using a deeper spiritual lens. Lent invites us to release old stories and awaken to our divine facilities, especially the power of imagination. Imagination is not just for dreaming, it is for transforming. When ignited by faith and guided by love, imagination becomes a sacred faculty that empowers us to co-create a new reality. Rather than letting our imagination spiral into fear, worry, or regret, we can harness it to envision what is possible, even in the midst of adversity. There are times when disappointment cuts deep, plans unravel, prayers seem unanswered. In these moments, our human tendency may be to withdraw, to feel disheartened or defeated. Yet, if we turn inward and listen in the silence of our hearts, a greater truth begins to emerge. We are never alone. Spirit is always present, inviting us to see with new eyes. Jesus exemplified this during his crucifixion. Though betrayal and suffering awaited him, he never lost faith. He turned inward in prayer and leaned into this divine identity with courage, compassion, and surrender. He saw beyond the cross to resurrection. His life teaches us that pain is never the final word. Transformation is. During this sacred season, we call to cross out false beliefs and release error thoughts that keep us bound in separation. We are invited to return to what Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore called headquarters, the inner sanctuary where spirit dwells. In this stillness, we remember who we truly are, spiritual beings, whole and holy, endowed with the power to rise. And I found this article very interesting. And she continues to write, this is our resurrection story too. As we release outdated patterns and egoic attachments, we make room for the Christ light within us to shine. When we stop resisting what is and instead surrender into the now moment, a new path opens. Acceptance isn't passive. It's the soil in which peace grows. Resistance keeps us stuck. Surrender liberates us. Even in our darkest moments, we can find refuge in prayer, silence, and communion with God. We follow Jesus' example, not ignoring the chaos around us, but anchoring ourselves in divine truth. We remember that heaven is not a distant place, but a state of consciousness we can embody here and now. Let us release the need to control, the weight of disappointment, and the grip of fear. Instead, let us nurture our inner life with compassion, reflection, and unwavering faith. As we reimagine our lives through the eyes of spirit, we reclaim our power to transform from separation to oneness, from grief to grace, from resistance to peace. And in doing so, we prepare our hearts for the miracle of Easter. And I brought this topic up because this, in the springtime, is when we celebrate the Easter season and go through the Lent, which is a lot of time when Jesus spent in the desert and preparing for his end. I thought this is a nice time if we look at the new life growing around us, the trees that are starting to blossom, the flowers that are starting to grow, the bulbs that are starting to spring forth. This is a great time for us to start to see things differently. We could look at things as though it was dead and dormant. But now as you see the buds starting to come from earth, you can see that there is new life coming from this, that this has pushed its way through the frozen grounds and has come forth. In this springtime and Easter time is a great time if you take the message of Easter, of transformation. This is a time to reflect and transform. This is a time for growing. And I like to go through the Lent season, just remembering that it's time to go within, to go within myself and to look at like my rebirthing, my transformation, how as spring comes forward, the days are longer, the weather is warmer, the sun shines a little more often. And I feel new in rebirth because I took this time to basically feel and become connected with the divine, my inner sanctum. That I like the way how Charles Fillmore called it, the headquarters. It's time to come to the headquarters and to commune with spirit, with the divine mind, the Holy Spirit opening me up to that. And it helps me see things differently instead of seeing the chaos that's happening around me. And especially that's happening in the world as I watch the news, I can sort of see it in a different perspective. And I often do that in conversations, is that when someone's talking in one way, I will often sort of point out another aspect. There's another side to the story. And sometimes when I'm telling the story, I may say, this is my story, but they've got their side of this. And there's some things that I don't know about. So if we look at things differently, if we step into somebody else's shoes and understand what they may be going through, it sort of releases a lot of concerns, a lot of anxiety. And when I can step back and go within to the headquarters and call upon spirit to guide me, it can free me from worries. It can free me from some fear and anxiety, that I can trust that things will unfold for our highest good. And so with this, I want to open this to our panel as to how seeing things differently works in their lives and how this allows them to sort of transform into this rebirthing and this new growth of springtime and opening up and flowering forth. So, and who would like to share their thoughts first? Yes, Susan.
This is a very timely presentation for my life for two major reasons. One is that I have a cat who may make an appearance here. Um, and a couple of months ago, he was diagnosed with glaucoma and he eventually may go blind. What this, of course, to me was distressing, and the vet referred us to an animal eye specialist. And I never knew. See, there he is, the subject of my remarks. Um, I never knew there was such a thing as an animal eye specialist. And so I learned something. And the upshot of it is that I put one kind of medicine, eye drops, in his eyes twice a day. And there's a different eye drop that I put in his eyes 3 times a day. And the first few weeks I was doing this, I was upset. I felt so sorry for him. I felt so much compassion. I hated administering the drops. And then my attitude changed. And I began to think, isn't it wonderful that veterinary medicine has progressed so far that there's something I can do? And my attitude about it completely changed. So, your remarks about seeing things differently really hit home with me in this season. The second thing that really struck me was thinking about Lent. And I've been thinking about Lent. And, the tradition is we give up something, um, or, as I learned a couple of years ago, we can adopt something. To me, Lent is about making a change of some sort, a useful change. And your remarks about spring gave me an idea for what I want to do during this Lenten season. And every day, I want to look for signs of spring, signs of rebirth, signs of renewal, because I know I'm surrounded by them. I just don't pay attention. So thank you for your uh, comments and your remarks. They just really struck home with me in a couple of different ways.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate you sharing and glad to hear that your cat is getting treatment. And who would like to share next?
Kathy, what a fun topic. We really can see things differently. We do not have to agree to anybody else's vision for our lives. We don't even have to agree to the identities that we dreamed of and became. As I was listening to this, I was thinking about how, as a little girl, I always dreamed about being a mom. It's what I wanted so much. I had my first child's name picked out. I knew it was going to be a boy, and I knew exactly what he was going to be named. And consequently, that I did have my firstborn was a boy, and he did get that name. But anyway, it was everything that I wanted. Now, many, many, many years down the road, I'm estranged from my sons. We don't talk at all. And society says that this is not acceptable. It's the kind of thing that, as a mom, it can make you look to society as being very flawed. Well, what the heck did you do wrong that your kids don't even want to talk to you, kind of thing. And yet, when I look at my sons, what I see is very, very independent men. And they've chosen directions that are different than what I've chosen. These are humans that are, it's God in human form. And likewise, I'm God in human form. So I can choose to see each of us in that light. I can choose to see us differently and realize that, just like the author said, Spirit is always with us. It's who we really are. And it doesn't have to be society's version of what I should look like, nor does it have to be what I dreamed and became. I can change. So thank you for this, Kathy.
Well, thank you, Kistine. And Reverend Linda, do we have your thoughts?
And Dr. Kistine, I also am estranged from one of my children right now. And I see that as a really positive step for him, that he is being independent and making his own life. I could try and force my way back in or make changes to who I am, but I'm not willing to do that. I know that he is an expression of God, being who he needs to be in the world, and I'm very grateful for that. So I loved your comments. I love this topic about seeing things differently. This is kind of a go-to tool for me if I'm facing a challenge or not really understanding what's going on. I like to remember, as Pastor Robert used to say, that this has come to pass. So it's here to go away. It's not a forever point or something I have to stay with. Something else he used to say that really changed my world is that things don't happen to me, they happen for me. And that always brings me a huge shift in awareness and an opportunity to see things differently. One that I use in my day-to-day life is, instead of saying, I've got to go do this, I change that to, I get to. I get to go get gas in the car, and I get to pay my mortgage, and I get to do the things in the world that are mine to do. And it changes the way that I see and experience the things that are going on around me. I have also taken it into prayer and meditation and asked, what is mine to know in this situation? And frequently that gives me the eyes I need to see it differently. So thank you. This is a great topic. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Reverend Linda. And I want to thank my panel for sharing their thoughts and for being here today. We just are so grateful that you have joined us. And it's our viewing audience. We want to reach out to you and invite you to join our panel at any point in time that you feel like you want a topic to discuss or open up. Please reach out to the church after this video. There's guidance on how you can become a part of this panel. We also really appreciate any of your comments, any feedback that you have. And if this video brought something up for you that you know someone that could benefit from it, please share this and let them know about this. Spread the word out there that we're all growing each and every day. We're becoming new and different people. So sometimes when some people are in that darkest time, they might need that light at the end of the tunnel. So please share whatever you have on your hearts. If you're not a subscriber, please become one of our subscribers. We really like to have it, and it'll get you notification when we tape new recordings. So we want to reach as many people as we can to help spread this truth and lessons in life. So I want to thank my panel for being here. These lovely ladies just brighten up the day, and they just bring that whole new renewed sense of life into what's coming for us. And may you open up into the springtime and blossom forth. So thank you so much, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.